It's so nice having you today on the program from the Ivory Tower. I hope you enjoyed our last episode because today promises to be much more interesting, exciting, and of course, educating. My name is Omotayo Alo, and today we'll be meeting with a professor from the University of Benin. It's from the Department of Adult and Non-Formal Education. But before we go to the interview segment of the program today, we spoke to some students on some of the issues we discussed today, and this is what they have for us.
The president really wants to fight corruption. He doesn't have to use money, to fight it. He knows what to do. He knows the solution to our problems. So this money that I want to use he's just trying to. We Nigerians, we have the money. The money is there. Okay, instead of using that money now to fight corruption, he can use it to invest on other things that can equally reduce corruption. Instead of using to fight corruption, because most of us in this country we are suffering. We are just managing, by the grace of God, that is how we are moving.
Lots of people have died recently. So if 1 billion compared to people's life is nothing, so I think it's a very good idea. If the 1 billion naira will bring peace to the country again, I think they should give it to him.
Then the money issue might not be the solution to the problem. They can issue the money out, but if the idea of getting to the solution is not there, I don't think that will be enough. The money might be spent unnecessarily.
They know what the problem is, so they should just go straight. They should stop beating around the bush, telling people this, that, this. They should just stop it. They know the problem, so they should go and solve the problem.
Those were the views of students on the program today. It's time to go to our interview proper. Welcome you to From the Ivory Tower. On happenings around the country, varsity teachers get to air their views. Students are actually not left out. We bring you intellectual ends on the events happening around you. This is dedicated to educating the populace with a spice of entertainment.
From the Ivory Tower, Tuesdays, only on Core TV News.
Thanks for staying with me on this session of the program today. And like you know, I'm speaking to Professor Kola Adisa Kazim from the University of Benin. Good day, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's nice having you on the program.
It's my pleasure too.
Okay, as we kickstart the interview session, let me take you on the brain drain syndrome in Nigeria. Brain drain syndrome, I mean scholars going out of the country, and Nigeria is at the verge of development. Nigeria wishes for growth. So with brain drain syndrome by the side, what do you think we could do to nip this problem in the bud?
The brain drain syndrome that has crept into the educational system of Nigeria can be blamed on lack of foresight on the part of planners over the years. For me, I feel that we systematically destroyed our public school system, and by that we have given room for people to look elsewhere for something that is better. We live in a global world, and we see what happens elsewhere, and we see the way they treat their teachers. And to me, I feel the teacher is not given the right place in the society. In the past, it was the teacher and others. In the past, teaching was all. Everybody wants to be teachers. And then when you are in school, the teacher is the signpost of what you become in life. So, but suddenly, everything went backwards, and those professions that were not the cynosure of I then now gained some prominence.
Yeah. So what do you think is responsible for this shift?
Well, the shift is due to, for me, is due to lack of proper understanding of what teaching should be. That's number one. Number two is the fact that teaching became all commerce. It's for all commerce. Anybody who can read, write, and compute feels that he can pick up the chalk and become a teacher. And to me, that's not teaching. For you to be a teacher, you should be certified. And even up to this moment, we are still not doing it right. We say today that we have Teachers Registration Council, And I feel that if you have a Teachers Education Council, it should be in the committee of professions or bodies like ICANN. Okay? Because ICANN is a stabilizing force for accounting practice in Nigeria. The Teachers Education Council should be a stabilizing force for teachers' education. Everywhere in the world, in civilized world, you cannot be enrolled or you cannot be engaged as a teacher unless you are certificated. Even when our nurses leave Nigeria and goes abroad, they are subjected to take courses and certificates in nursing because they cannot practice in their own country without the certificate. You cannot even teach outside without the certificate of teaching. But here in Nigeria, so to make matter worse, you now say because somebody has gone to College of Education or has gone to university and he has read education, for that reason he becomes a teacher. No. You should be certified. There should be a body, and that body should be doing its job. I am happy to say that the present executive secretary is trying to do something in that neighborhood. But I think you should go across board. Indeed, some of the states that are running into crisis over competency tests for their teachers wouldn't have gone into that kind of situation. For instance, Edo State, the governor was held hostage because he asked for teachers to come for competency test. The Ekiti State saga was about the governor saying that teachers should come and write tests, and for that reason, that's why they are not voting for him. Bullshit. I think for teaching, in fact, more than any other profession, because the teacher is the producer. Let me use that word. Is the producer of other profession. Without the teacher, there won't be any lawyer. Without the teacher, there won't be any doctor. And if our teacher becomes rubbished, then that's why we are having what we are having in our education system.
We could even also be glad to some extent because for some that have stood out in the Nigerian education system, even when the country complained of poor education standard, for some still stand out and they are good in that field they are. But the problem is these people leave the country, leave the shores of the country, instead of being a solution to the problem Nigeria is having. We just find out that they are out of the country doing exploits. And so what happens to Nigeria? So that is the brain drain syndrome I'm talking about. So what could be done to maybe persuade them to stay, or what has Nigeria really done wrong in this aspect?
Let me quickly say that the brain drain syndrome is not particularly alone. It's not particularly about the educational system alone. The brain drain system was ignited more by the economic situation of Nigeria and somebody looking for a greener pasture in terms of economic benefits. To be honest with you, the take home of most teachers can't take them home. The university teacher is perhaps seen today as taking some money, but you will be it will be funny for you to know that I doubt if there's any professor that takes home 500,000 per month. And my God, for a new graduate who is enrolled or is employed in any other company, that's chicken change, man. So we are now saying that that's not the essence. That's not the reason why people are running away. They are running away majorly because of economy. Poverty is in the line, whether you like it or not. And our educational system is a reflection of that, because the best of the brains are running away, and the ones who are just managing to be here, even though they are still good, they're just being, most of them are just being patriotic. I'll give myself as an example. I would rather stay in Nigeria than go anywhere. That's the truth. When I had the opportunity of even staying out of the country, when I was younger, I was almost finishing my doctorate, and I had an opportunity of staying abroad, and I said, no, for me, I couldn't just imagine myself in Nigeria. I'm going to be king, and I'm king here, so I can't just be anything. I don't have any problem with anybody going, but for me, I would rather stay here and help this country to grow.
Yeah. So we could just safely conclude that the solution to this would be if people make a decision to be patriotic, to be of selfless service, even when the situation and condition around doesn't.
No, the condition can be improved.
Okay.
The condition has to be improved. There is no, this country has no business, for God's sake, has no business with poverty. No, we have none. If we can put everything right, if I don't blame the leadership any longer. I'm sorry to say that I don't blame the leadership. I blame the followership. After all, the leaders are products of the followers. They came from that level. And unless the followership is willing to ask questions from their leaders, all of these people running away are not leaders, okay? They are part of the followers. Why are we not here asking questions? Why are we not saying, put things right for us? Why should we run elsewhere? People are not getting it right. I'm sorry to say that not everybody that goes comes with very successful and good stories. They really don't have an option. That's why they go. To be candid with you, some of the things they do there, they will not do it in Nigeria in terms of jobs. You can't offer them a graduate in Nigeria to come and wash. They won't want to do that. And indeed, government needs to do something about it. And the followership would only push the leadership to do the right thing if they ask questions. People are leading us by the nose and they should not do that. For instance, I just mentioned the Ekiti matter. If you look at the Ekiti situation, and if somebody is telling me because somebody says that you should come and do competency tests, and for that reason we are not going to support you, oh, so be it. But that is the right thing to do. We must do it right. It doesn't matter. If he loses, fine. But the truth has to be said. In Kaduna State, for instance, there was a competency test for primary school teachers. They were given primary 4 examination. The teachers were given primary 4 examination in their competency test. You can't believe less than 25% passed that exam. So, what are we talking about? If we have a system that is working, I mean, the governors will not be the one asking for competency tests. The system would actually ask for competency tests.
Okay. Let's tilt towards politics. After the impeachment of the Adamawa State governor, information has it that governors in states like Edo and Rivers states will be impeached also. So for this impeachment event trailing various states in Nigeria, would you say justice is actually coming to stay, or is simply a political battle?
I laugh because it's comic relief for me. This is a country where those leading us are interested in themselves and they care less about us. And I've mentioned it because nobody is asking questions. Everybody does what he feels he has to do. And nobody will ask questions. And that's funny. In a country where we have intellectuals, there's nowhere in the world where you will say Nigeria will enter and will not show class. That's the truth. But when we get home, our leaders take us for a ride because we are docile people. We are people who cannot stand and defend what we believe in. Indeed, the problem is more with the elites. We quote now. These elites will speak with big grammar like I'm speaking now, and we will go beyond the speaking of that grammar to go to the grassroots and actually display that and help in, conscientizing the people towards saying the right thing. Telling the people, it's not about telling alone, demonstrating to the people that that governor who is coming to open that electricity in your community is not doing you a favor. It is your right. So you don't need to be clapping for him when he does that. He has to do it. It is his responsibility to do it. When he's not doing it, query him. If he doesn't answer you, then the truth of the matter is that the impeachment is just a rehearsal of what we're going to have next year, and it's a political game, not about justice. For me, I think the impeachments were just a rehearsal. It wasn't about justice. It's about this person is not in our party, and we have to strategize for 2015. So let's get them out, and let's put our person there, and then all the crisis in Edo State was not there, and suddenly it's about Congress, suddenly, and it is not over with one party, because what we have is people of the same character. But we can just say one is a little bit, it's like about two devils. You have a fairly okay devil, and the other devil is a devil in total package. So, but as far as I'm concerned, that's why it is easy for those who are actually not real to be moving up and down. It doesn't cost them anything to change. I was actually online with a friend, and we were discussing. I said, if it is about ideologies, if it is about principles, you don't just move from one ship to another. How many times have you seen anybody from a civilized community who will say that because I was not given the chairmanship of my party, or I was not the presidential candidate of my party, then I'm going to move to another party? It doesn't happen. There are in the US, for instance, you will have countless number of people opting to come for the presidency, and in the process they will be falling by the way, and at the end of the day, the one that emerges, everybody will now work for that person.
Okay, so far we've been speaking to Professor Kazim, and we want to take a short break on the program. Please stay with us.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
It's you until from the Ivory Tower, and I hope so far you've been enjoying all of what we brought to you today. And we are not done. We'll continue a conversation with Professor, so enjoy. All right, you said a lot about the impeachment, and for you, your stand is simply a political game, and there's nothing justifying in the whole of the scam. Okay, so recently, some party members of the president discouraged him from making his intentions known for 2015, because the country is not in a good state, and so it's not good for him to declare presidency. So, for 2015 elections, what do you think is the fate of President Goodluck Jonathan's candidature experience for 2015 elections?
It's still part of the taking us for a ride. For me, that's for me. For another person, it may not be so. But for me, it's just about, you know, Nigerians. Let's just continue to toy with them. How do you make up for all the advertisements that is coming on by transformation, whatever time that comes on every day? How many times in a day does it come on? Even during the World Cup, it was on air, and it was talking about President Jonathan's good works. What does that mean? Is that a campaign, or is that a suggestion of what? And somebody is telling us that continue with what you're doing. Nigerians are behind you. People who are with you are more than those who are against you. And it is about, and the person has not declared intention. So what happens if he declares intention? That's so. As for me, it's like somebody is just telling some other persons, don't mind them. We will soon come up and tell them what we want to tell them. For me, for a very long time, the body language of the president has confirmed that he's coming on, and there's no problem about it. For me, there's no problem about him coming, if it is in a country where it is about what you have done, and it will count for what you have done as the basis for your vote. So fine, no problem. Anybody can come up and say, I want to be the president. You have a right. It's your right to do so as long as you're in Nigeria. I mean, and the Constitution allows it. So why would anybody say you should not contest? So let him contest, but let there be a level playing field for everybody. Not a calculated attempt to say that I must win in all this. Why do you need to win in all the states, for instance? For me, why should I win in all the states? Win where you win, let it be a free and fair election. That's my own position. I do not care who. All I care about is the system. The truth of the matter is that the problem of this country is not about anything but lack of what you call patriotism. We have a country, not a nation. So there's no nationalistic feeling. And that's why somebody said the major problem, and I wonder why what we're doing in the National Assembly, when somebody still goes there on the basis of ethnic and religious. We are not talking about Nigeria. None of them is talking about Nigeria. If we're talking about Nigeria, then our case will be simple. We are not working towards the good of the system. I mean, what they are working for is the good of their pocket. If we're working for the good of the system, the president and every one of us knows what is wrong. The same thing they've been saying since 1999 at every election. Okay? It's about, what are we transforming? What are we transforming? It's the same party. So why should it be transformation? If my party is doing well, why should I be transforming? I should be consolidating. That's my own understanding of it. In the climes where things work, the citizens there and the leadership work for the good of the system. An average Nigerian is not doing that. An average Nigerian is looking for opportunity to be there and join them in sharing the national cake and becoming a big man who will be able to throw parties, because those are the basis.
So how much parties are we going to have when there's bomb blast everywhere?
My dear, they still throw their parties all over the place. People still look at Olatilo's show. You will see so much affluence being thrown around, and we have lots and lots of poor people who cannot even afford a square meal. So let's be honest with ourselves for once. When I read Adeniyi's account, I was happy about seeing a president who at the beginning was willing to do so many things, but health stopped so much of what he would have done. And I think that Jonathan was part of that administration and should have even borrowed. And I think he had borrowed a few of it, but it's not enough for me. I'm sorry.
Okay, then as we round up, I just want you to give your final words on all of the issues we discussed, from the brain drain syndrome to political battle to fighting insurgency and everything we discussed. Final words from you.
My prayer to the leadership of this country is to be truthful about Nigeria. We keep demanding for prayers. The prayers are not answered when you are not truthful. When you yourself know that you are not honest in what you're doing. When you have different measure for different people. When there is no justice. When you purchase justice. When what you do does not correspond with what you say. When what you promise the people doesn't come to term. When you come into government and you feel that you have answers to all questions, nobody has it. Only God has it. When you flood yourself or you surround yourself with people who cannot deliver. In fact, I have a case in hand where you will say that a particular category of people cannot work with you because you don't want somebody who will look at you in the face and say, "No, sir, I can't do this." That's the bane. Every office holder, or let me not say every, most office holders in Nigeria got there, not by merit, but by one man knows another man, and another man knows another man, and I must not be seen to have disobeyed my sponsor. What we need in this country is a leadership that will be willing to make this system work. Nigeria belongs to all of us. The other countries, at one point in time, will refuse to allow others to come and bastardize their country. We need to change our orientation towards leadership. We need to make leadership a service to the people, not service to ourselves. After all, if we acquire all the wealth we are acquiring, we will still go down 6 feet. And we could see results, we could see records of people who have tried to acquire the world. What came out of it? Is it not better to leave a legacy of Mandela that the world celebrated in death? While he was alive, he was celebrated. And he lived a simple life. And he was true to his words. He never wanted to become president. When it was trusted on him, he seized that opportunity. And at an appointed time, when he was told for a second time, he said, no. Why could we not do that? Why is it difficult for an average Nigerian leader to say, oh, thank God, I never expected I was even going to get to this point, but at this one that is in my hand, I will do the best I can. If you like, bring me back. If you like, don't bring me back. After all, in Osun State in 1983, when Governor Akonde was asked, you are saying these people, and they said, if they like, let them not vote for me. People deserve the kind of government they have, and that's what we have been having. But I don't think it is the government we deserve that we've been having. It is the government that has been foisted on us all of the time. I pray and I hope one day Nigeria will truly get the type of government they really deserve.
You know, on Ivory Tower, we won't go until you see our quotes for today. And that is the quotes we have for you today. Thanks for staying with us till the very end of the program. Our guest is from the University of Benin. I hope you had a swell time listening to all of what we have for you today. Join me next time for yet another interesting episode. My name remains Omotayo Alo. Till I come your way next time, be good and have a beautiful time.